Hi, it's Carol Doherty. Welcome to Survival Strategies for Women in STEM. Today, I want to talk about what is imposter syndrome and why does it seem to plague us, particularly as high-achieving women in STEM. Seems crazy. If we're high-achieving, why are we struggling? Studies show that it is more common for high performers to have imposter syndrome than people who already have self-confidence issues. And that's kind of an interesting thing that seems counterintuitive, but that is what's been proven to be the case. Also, women have it more than men. Now, I've done a big sampling of two people, myself and my husband. He's never had these thoughts, whereas I've had them off and on throughout my whole career. And what it comes down to is an overactive inner critic. And what I mean is it's self-doubt. In an article by Harvard Business Review, they said imposter syndrome can be defined as a collection of feelings of inadequacy that persist despite evident success. Even in the face of evidence that you can do something, you think you can't. And it shows up as feelings of, I don't belong here. I can't fail. If I fail, they're going to find out I made a mistake. Or, wow, I really feel like a fake. Or you might think, well, I just got lucky. Or when somebody says, oh, wow, you did a really great job on that. Oh, it was no big deal. It was a big deal. It wasn't all luck. You aren't a fake. People make mistakes all the time. And you know what? You do belong there. So all of these things are your inner critic talking to you and telling you you can't do it. Now, there's an interesting book out by Dr. Valerie Young. She wrote it in 2011. It's called The Secret Thoughts of Successful Women: Why Capable People Suffer from the Imposter Syndrome and How to Survive in Spite of It. Now, what I love about some of her work in this is she defines 5 types of imposters. The first one, the perfectionist. I think we all know them, right? Might even be you. It's where we demand perfection of ourselves and it's unachievable. So we don't act, we don't do enough because we don't know how to do it perfectly. That's a problem. The second one is the natural genius. And this is one I see all the time in my clients. Stuff has always come easily. You were a gifted student. You blew through high school. You went through college and maybe you did really well there. And you get into a job and suddenly things get tougher. And you have been conditioned because of all of your earlier success to think that, well, I can easily do this. And as soon as it gets hard, you start thinking you're a fraud, that all that success in the past where things came easy isn't real. Yeah, it is. So you believe that competent people can handle anything with little effort. Any difficulty is, that's for lesser people. Well, guess what? That's not always the case. We all hit things that we don't know and things that are hard. But the natural genius struggles with this. The rugged individualist or soloist. And here is that person who believes you can do it all on your own. You don't need help. I've been there. I've thought I had to succeed on my own. Some of that comes from my childhood. Not going to deny it because I'm not an only child, but I am the third child with a big gap. My brothers called me the only kid because they're 9 and 12 years older than me. So I grew up in a house full of adults. So I had to learn to do so much for myself by myself. And it was hard for me to ask for help. So you think you're a fake or a fraud if you need help because you're used to doing it all on your own. This next one is the one that I see tripping up more women in STEM than any other one. It's the expert. And in this case, you believe you have to have all the answers. You're the expert. I can assure you, this was my problem for a very, very long time. Early in my career, I thought I had to have all the answers. So I sometimes faked it till I made it because I didn't want anybody to think I didn't know. And then a good friend and a coworker saw me stumble, saw me thrown so far off my game because of a bad verbal altercation with somebody out on the shop floor, the manufacturing plant we worked at. He saw me struggling to recover. And he told me later that he actually liked me better afterwards because before then I always seemed to have all the answers and I knew all this stuff and he couldn't live up to that. He's several years younger than I am. And so I knew him as an intern, whereas I had 5 years experience. When we first met, that challenge of feeling like I had to have all the answers, and if I didn't know, then I didn't belong where I was. I've seen this in clients that I've worked with where they're being asked to take on a promotion and they're like, well, I can't. What if I fail? And that's their need to have all the answers, to know everything before they get started. That trips them up. I've seen 2 of my clients struggling with, hey, we want you to take this higher level role. We believe you're ready for it. And they're saying, but what if I fail? They're used to being the expert and they don't know how to get past that being the expert. They're so used to it. If they're not the expert, then they don't belong where they are. The last one that is outlined in the book is the superhero. You think you have to do everything. You have to control all the situations. You have to be perfect in everything. You have to succeed. And that comes up. You have to be the perfect mom, the perfect wife, the perfect engineer, or whatever your role is. You have to be that perfect person. You have to succeed equally in all things. And so you keep working harder. You keep pushing yourself further. And all that does is lead you to burnout. And I'm sorry, my generation created that. I'm a late baby boomer, and too many women in the 70s talked about, you can have everything. You can have a career. You can have a family. You can be a wife. You can have everything. Yeah, you can, but you can't give 110% to everything every day. So we created this illusion that you had to be a superhero. I fought that. I felt like a failure when I wasn't doing well at work because I was sleep deprived because the kids were up. I felt like a failure as a mom because I short-term projects that required me to work double shifts. I felt like a failure because I had to be all of it all at once instead of giving myself the grace to be what I needed to be in that moment. So that's kind of what imposter syndrome looks like, where you have these need to be everything to everyone. You have to be perfect. You have to be the expert. You have to know how to do it on your own. It should come easily to you because you're in these great roles. Well, guess what? Your inner critic is telling you that, and it's not allowing you to be real and be human. We all make mistakes. We all fail. We all struggle. And it's how we learn. So stop demanding that you be perfect in everything that you do. Instead, let's look at how do you succeed. With my coaching clients who are saying, but what if I fail? I encourage them instead to start asking, how do I succeed? Instead of looking for the failure, which is the imposter syndrome telling you if you can't do it easily, you're a failure. Look at, what do I need to do to succeed? Give yourself the grace to make mistakes. And really start questioning the truth and validity of those things that inner critic in the back of your mind is telling you. When saying, oh, you're going to screw it up, you're going to fail, you're not going to get it right. How true is that? Own your accomplishments. That's one of the biggest faults of imposter syndromes, is that people start thinking they can't succeed. They haven't ever done anything right, even though all the evidence shows otherwise, and people see you as somebody who does amazing things. Start listening to the external evidence and start questioning the internal. You will be much more successful, and it will help quiet that inner critic and let you conquer imposter syndrome. If this resonated with you, please like, share, comment, subscribe. I'd love to see more of you. And over the next couple of weeks, I will be talking more about how do you manage through imposter syndrome. Have a great day. See you around.